you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm finally going to be going over the results from William's evaluation with his speech therapist. Now, the reason it took me so long to make this was because I had a hard time thinking about how I could make this video without just reading off the paper. And there's really no other better way that I can do this other than just reading off the paper and explaining what happened and what she said. So I'm just going to do that. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to either DM me on Instagram or leave a comment down below, and I will answer any question that you have. So just a brief background. My son William, he is 15 months old, and at the time that he took this evaluation, he was 14 months old. So the reason that we had this evaluation done is because he does not speak. He does not say much of anything other than a lot of babbling, and he also does not walk on his own just yet. So his doctor was kind of concerned about his development and just wanted a professional evaluation done on him to make sure that he was developing as he needed to, and to see if he needed any extra therapy to get him to where he needed to be if he was behind. So with these results, I will just read what's on the paper and explain how I can in better detail about the tests that she performed and what she told me and about the result that he got. So the very first thing on this paper is just some background information, and I will just read it all out loud. Hello, can I help you? You're so sweet. Go lay down. Oh, lay down. It says, William is a 14-month-old male who was referred to the Early Steps program due to the concerns with expressive communication skills. He says dada spontaneously. He occasionally initiates speech sounds, but does not initiate words. He pops his lips, goes to the snack shelf, or fusses if he is hungry. And by popping his lips, I mean if he sees somebody eating something and he wants a bite, he will come up to you and go to let you know that he wants some. So that's what that meant. He gets his cup if he is thirsty. He reaches for wanted items, but does not yet point to wanted items. He occasionally responds to simultaneous verbal and gestural commands. So if I say, give that to mama, whatever he has in his hand, he'll give it to me. Or if I say, go get your binky, or go get your passy, he'll find and look around to where his binky is and he'll go get it. He identifies family members but does not identify common objects. If I say, where's Dada or where's Uncle Dre, he will look in the direction of where he thinks they are, but if I say, where's your cup or where's your ball, he won't know where exactly that is. But I mean, his binky, he's so attached to that thing, he definitely knows what that is. So that's the exception with that one. Mom reported a normal pregnancy. William was born full term, weighing 6 pounds 11 ounces. He passed his newborn hearing screening. He has a good health history and is followed by Dr. Blank for routine health care. He does not take any daily medications. This evaluation is needed to determine William's current level of functioning in 5 domains during his daily routines. In addition to the results of this evaluation, eligibility is determined during the team meeting. The team will review all aspects of William's medical and developmental history, as well as parent and provider concerns. The next part is called Current Functioning with Family Routines, and she just kind of breaks down his morning routine, so I'll just read that as she wrote it down. William lives with his parents. Morning. William wakes up between 6 and 7 a.m., drinks his formula, eats breakfast, watches cartoons, plays, and takes a nap. He stays home with his mom on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. He goes to his grandmother's house from 7:30 until 1 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. That was whenever I was doing school on Mondays and Wednesdays, and he stayed with my mom. For mealtime, William eats regular table foods. He drinks 4 ounces of Toddler formula twice a day. He drinks from a sippy cup and straw cups independently. He feeds himself finger foods. He is attempting to use a spoon to feed himself. He eats a variety of foods and has a good appetite. So she did ask me if he knew how to use a spoon on his own, and I told her that he knows how to take the spoon that's loaded with food and eat it, but he doesn't know how to load the food load the food on the spoon himself. So that was one of the things that she told me, that I could start working with him. I could get behind him whenever he's eating and then just take his hand and guide it to where he was picking up whatever food, and then bringing it to his mouth to kind of show him how to use the spoon. Next says play. William plays well independently and interacts with other children. He enjoys playing with balls and cars. He also enjoys playing with musical toys and playing in water. Rest. William takes 2 naps daily for 1 to 2 hours each, and that was kind of before he started going from 2 to 1 nap. He was kind of transitioning to where sometimes he would take 2 naps and sometimes he would only take 1, but she just went ahead and put 2. His bedtime is 7 p.m. He sleeps in a crib in his own room and sleeps through the night. So this next part says summary of strengths and areas of concern. It says the Battelle Developmental Inventory 2, which I don't know what that is. I guess that's how they grade their strengths and weaknesses, how they determine what level they're at. It says was used to determine, okay, well, I guess I should have just kept reading. Was used to determine William's progress in 5 domains: adaptive, personal, social, communication, motor, and cognitive. Those are the 5 areas that they tested him on. The next part of the results is called assessment results, and it's broken down into the 5 different categories. So the first category is adaptive skills, and he scored average. William feeds himself finger foods, drinks from a straw cup and sippy cup independently, chews his food using rotary jaw movement, helps dress himself by holding out his arms or legs, and asks for food or liquids using gestures. He is attempting to use a spoon to feed himself. So she asked me different questions about the spoon, like I had said, and then she also asked me if he kind of helps me change him, like if I put a shirt over his head, if I maneuver his arm to where it's gonna go in the sleeve, if he'll push his arm out of his sleeve himself. And he does do that. And then I also told her that whenever I changed his diaper, he will lift his legs up for me to kind of help me out. And then whenever I put pants on him, he'll move and push his leg through the pant leg hole. So that's what that meant. So for that assessment, he scored average. For personal and social skills, he ranked very high on this. She actually had to go look in her book to see what his specific score was. I don't remember the number, but it was very, very high. And she put it as advanced development. So he's a very social little guy. And here's the details. It says, William explores adult facial features, expresses displeasure for and enjoyment for certain activities, plays peekaboo, enjoys affection towards people, responds positively to adult praise, greets familiar people spontaneously, enjoys having simple stories read to him, initiates social contact with familiar adults, and allows others to participate in his activities. He responds to his name, displays independent behavior, expresses ownership or possession, expresses enthusiasm for play, and appropriately communicates positive emotions. So what she did to test all of his personal and social skills was, while she was sitting on the floor with him, she looked at him and, you know, made this really happy face and said, yay, and, you know, just praised him to see if he got a positive reaction. And he did. He was very happy. He smiled really big. He likes to be praised. She played peekaboo with him, and I told her that peekaboo was one of his favorite games to play, and that was really good for his development apparently. Shows affection towards people. I told her how he really, really loves his grandma and he really loves his dad, and she noticed that he was also not shy around new people, at least not to where it was bad, because a lot of kids are very shy around new people and they cling to their mom or whoever's familiar with them. But he wasn't too clingy. He did show a little bit of caution, like he didn't know who that person was, but he was still interested to get to know them. So he opened up to her very quickly, and that was good. That shows that he's a very confident child and he does have very good social skills. So she was very impressed with that. And another thing that she did was that she had a picture book that was very, very simple. It had just one picture on each page, and it said banana. with a picture of a banana, just a banana, or a picture of a ball that said ball with nothing else. And there was like a fish and a cat, but he sat there with her and let her read it to him, and it kept his attention for a good while, and she was very impressed with his attention span and how much he enjoyed reading that book with her. So just very simple picture books, not ones that, you know, have stories and a whole bunch of stuff going on. Just very, very simple one picture books. And if it has a texture, she said, like for a dog it would have like a little bit of fur, then that would be really good to help teach them textures. That's also really good for sensory abilities as well. So for allowing others to participate in activities, she tested him to see if whenever he was playing with something like a ball, if she was to jump in and maybe once he threw the ball, like she would grab it and, you know, toss it around a little bit and then throw it back, and then he would throw it back to her. That shows that he's not that's not too possessive over things, and he's able to share and play with other kids. And she also asked me how he does interact with other children, and I told her that I have a stepsister and she's around 4 or 5 years old, and he will play with her and he enjoys playing with her, and he doesn't tackle her whenever she takes his toys. So that was another very positive thing that she was looking for. Of course, kids under the age of 3 don't understand how to share, but that's not necessarily what she was looking for. It was more so if he plays well with other children. And then for showing ownership or possession, he knows that his binky is his binky. And I don't remember the exact question that she asked me, but I used his binky as an example that if he sees it and he knows that it's his and he wants it, so he reaches for it and he grabs it. So that's that example for that. So unhealthy, but so delicious. So the next area was communication, means like speech and talking. And this one she ranked him significant delay. This says, receptively, William turns his head toward sound sources outside of his field of vision, attends to someone speaking to him for at least 10 seconds, and responds with awareness and acceptance when familiar people approach him. Meaning that if he hears something like a squeak and it's not in his field of vision, it's behind him, he'll turn his head to see where the squeak is coming from. And if he sees somebody that's familiar, like whenever we go to my mom's house and he sees her, he recognizes who she is and he smiles real big. He's happy to see her because he knows her. And then if we talk to him, talk directly to him, we keep his attention for 10 seconds or more. And I don't remember if 10 seconds was the cap, but she did keep his attention for quite a while. So maybe it was for like 3 to 5 seconds or 5 to 8 seconds and then 8 to 10 seconds, but I don't really remember for sure. He does not respond to different tones of a person's voice, attend to other people's conversation for 30 seconds, or associate spoken words with common objects. Okay, so again, I should have kept reading. So 30 seconds obviously is longer than 10 seconds, so we can't keep his attention for that long, but 10 seconds is about how long he would look at us talking to him and then he would just get distracted with something else. And then responding to a different tone of a person's voice, like if we see him running towards something he knows he's not supposed to do, if we say his name in like a deep tone to get his attention, to get him not to do it, he'll just ignore you. Like he just does. He stops for nothing, I'm telling you. He identifies family members when named. Expressively, William vocalizes or to express his feelings, repeats one or more single syllable consonant vowel sounds when in close succession, occasionally waves bye-bye, occasionally imitates speech sounds, and occasionally uses gestures to indicate his wants or needs. Okay. So like I said earlier, if I say, where's Dad or where's Uncle Dre, he'll look in the direction of where that person is. And then I think I said it yesterday in his 15-month update, if I do something or make like a sound, he will repeat it. Like the K sound, he has started to make the K sound after me. Or if I go, he will also do that. He'll go as well. So that's what that means, the single syllable consonant vowel sound. I don't know why that's so hard to say, but it is. He does not spontaneously initiate sounds or words that are associated with objects in the environment or use 10 or more words. So he will not look at a ball and go ball or make some kind of noise that he uses for just the word ball. Like she said that some kids don't say ball, but they'll say ba or some other sound that they associate with the word ball and just call the ball ba. If that makes any sense at all, I hope it does. So he doesn't do that, and he also, of course, he doesn't say 10 or more words because he doesn't really say any word. And the last thing it says he says dada spontaneously. Again, like I said yesterday in his 15-month update video, which I'll link that down below for you guys. Whenever he sees Matt, he knows who Matt is, so he will say dad, 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 dad. And whenever we talk about dada, he will say dad, 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 dad. So he knows who dada is, but he doesn't specifically say just dada. It's multiple dads. And I'm trying to get him to say just dada. And I'm also trying to get him to say mama and a plethora of other words, but we're working on it. So the next area was motor, and she ranked him as low average. It says William crawls, pulls himself to a standing position while holding onto solid objects, moves from a standing position to a sitting position while holding onto a solid object, and crawls up 4 steps without assistance. He does not walk 3 or more steps with assistance or stand independently for 30 or more seconds. He drops an object initially with demonstration, he drops an object intentionally with demonstration, uses a neat pincer grasp, releases toys from his grasp, intentionally throws an object, and removes forms from a form board. Sorry, I usually don't have a hard time reading out loud, but this is just a lot of weird words. So if I stutter, I'm sorry. So William does crawl a lot. And he will pull himself up on a solid object like furniture. So he'll reach up for it and then just pull himself up. And then he'll also let go when he's ready to sit down, and he just sits down and then continues on doing whatever he wants. He crawls up 4 steps without assistance, like stairs or any kind of low stool he can crawl up on, so that's what she means by that. Does not walk 3 or more steps with assistance or stand independently for 30 or more seconds. So what she means by that is he would not let me hold him with his hands and walk with him. Anytime I would try to hold him and walk with him like you normally see a kid do, he wouldn't do that. He didn't want help. He would just lift his legs up off the floor or sit down. He doesn't want help. So he wouldn't let me help him walk. But he does walk with his push walker, and she does know that, but I guess she didn't take that into consideration whenever she typed this. I don't know. But he does walk with his push walker. He just doesn't want me to help him walk. For some reason, I don't know. So he drops an object intentionally with demonstration, which throwing, she used throwing as an example because he always throws his balls and then he'll go get it and then he'll throw it again and then go get it, and uses a neat pincer grasp. So he'll pick small things up with just his finger instead of picking like one thing up with his entire hand. So instead of holding things like this, he'll hold stuff like this. And removing forms from a form board, she had like a little wooden like puzzle thing, and if I can find a picture, I'll insert a picture so that you can kind of tell what I'm talking about. She had this little wooden little board that had 2 cutouts. One was, I think one was a circle and one was a square, and then it had like a little circle and a little square that you could fit in the empty spaces, like kind of like a puzzle, and he could remove them out of their place without just taking the whole thing and dumping it all over. He could grab it without having to dump it out to get them out of their place. And he could also take them and put them back where they're supposed to go. So the last area was cognitive, and he scored a high average. It says, William uncovers hidden toys, occupies himself for 10 or more minutes without demanding attention, searches for a removed object, looks at pictures in a book, attends to one activity for 3 or 4 minutes, and occasionally finds an object hidden under one of 2 cups. So if she was to take a toy and then hide it underneath the blanket or hide it behind her, and if he knew where it was, he could take the blanket off or kind of move around her to see where the toy was. She was trying to see if he had, I think it's called object permanence. So he did really well with that. Occupies himself for 10 or more minutes. He plays very well independently, and he'll do that for a while without coming to me for attention. He'll be very good about playing on his own and keeping himself entertained. And then finding an object hidden under one of 2 cups. She had 2 solo cups, and then I gave her one of his toys, and she put the toy on the floor and then put 1 cup on top and then the other cup over here, and then she kind of just did this number and then just left it. So the toy is under this cup and then this cup is empty. She just did this 1 time, 2 times, and then the toy was still underneath this one. So she wasn't trying to trick him or anything. Well, I guess she kind of was, but she didn't move the toy from over here to over here. She just left it in the same spot, but moved the cups around, and he was able to move the cup to find the toy that was underneath. He shows awareness of new situations, feels and explores objects, physically investigates his surroundings by crawling, and places a circle or square in a form board. He occasionally imitates facial features. So again, that was just saying about how he would put the square or circle back in the place that it was supposed to go. Feels and explores objects. He likes textures. He likes feeling new things. I mean, he was digging in her bag trying to see what the heck was in her bag, and that was just hilarious because he's so nosy. Physically investigates his surroundings by crawling, which, I mean, he crawls everywhere and he gets into everything, and shows awareness of new situations. So he knows whenever he's in a new place. He knows and is aware whenever new people come around. And then occasionally imitating facial features, like I think we use the as an example with that. So the next part is recommendations for IFSP, which I don't really know what that means, and program planning intervention. So this is just what she recommends as far as treatment. I mean, not treatment, but helping him do things better. So she just gave us a list of things to do with him to kind of help the areas that he's weaker in and get him to where he needs to be. So sing songs with motor movements to encourage imitation and listening skills, like the wheels on the bus go round and round, and then doing this, or like the itsy bitsy spider, like those kind of like gestures and movements, and patty cake, just singing with him and imitating gestures and trying to get him to do those gestures. Read books and point to and label items on the pages. So again, with the simple picture book, pointing to the banana and having him say banana and point to it so that he knows that that is a banana. Give him a choice between 2 items to encourage him to make requests. So I guess just holding up 2 toys and saying, which one do you want? And then, you know, having him pick one, or during mealtime, holding up 2 different kinds of fruit and saying, which fruit would you like? And then having him pick from one or the other. Label common objects, family members, and animals for him throughout the day. Like just holding up one of his toys and saying, ball, or pointing to one of my dogs and saying dog or Harley, and then making sure that I label Dada and Neffy for my grandma, and then Mama for me, and just anything that I can think of. Like whenever, she also said that whenever I bathe him, I can also, whenever I wash him, I can say wash your arm or wash your hands, And then I can also do wash your hair, you know, just anything that I can label. Talk to him and tell him what everything is, and eventually he will start saying and repeating those words. The next one is label body parts during bath time. Like I just said, just repeating and saying everything. That's something that she emphasized. She said to talk to him about everything, label everything, repeat everything, just talk as much as you can, and eventually he will start talking and saying those words and knowing what things mean. Next says, make animal sounds and environmental sounds to encourage vocalization and imitation. So when we're playing with a car, I'll go vroom vroom or beep beep, or if we're petting the dog, I'll say dog, bark bark bark, you know, just something like that. Or if we're looking at a book and we see a frog, go frog, ribbit ribbit, just anything like that. Her big thing was repetition, repetition, repetition. Praise him for imitating words, sounds, facial features, and motor movement. So if he does it, we're obviously supposed to praise him and tell him a good job and let him know that that was the right thing to do. Engage in one-on-one playtime several times daily and sing songs, work puzzles, play with blocks, read books, and play with toys. That's a little self-explanatory. And have him follow simple commands by showing him how to complete the task. So if I have his backpack and I'll unzip it and zip it and kind of show him how to do it, then he'll eventually get the idea of how to zip it, and he knows how to take the lids off of something and then put the lid back on, because I show him, I'm like, off, on, and then just kind of show him how to take the lid off of the container and then put it back on. So based off of all of that, all of the testing she did, everything that I would tell her about him, she does not recommend that I go through with the speech therapy. She said that he is very, very smart. She said that she is confident that as long as I just do what she recommends and just repeats everything and talks to him and show him how to do things, that he will eventually get it. She does not think that he is behind enough to where they need to step in. She did give me the option though that if I felt like in 3 months that he's not really improving, that I can call them back, and then they would start doing, I guess, the process of enrolling him in the speech therapy. But as of right now, based on everything that he knows and everything that he can do, he does not qualify to be enrolled into speech therapy. So that is it. That was our only experience with a speech therapist. I feel like the test that she did really kind of gave me a better idea of where he is in his development, and she also gave me really good tips on how to improve it. And I really hope that I did a good job of explaining all this stuff. I did the best that I could. So like I said, if you have any questions at all, please, please, please ask me and I will answer them to the best of your ability. But if you feel like your child has delays in anything, do not take this as me telling you that this is the right thing to do. I would definitely recommend you talk to your pediatrician or a speech therapist that can actually come out and see your child firsthand to give you recommendations and treatments that is necessary for your child. This is no way me saying that this stuff will work for everybody. This is just based off of my son's evaluation, what is best for him and what he can do and what he is capable of at this time. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and turn on the notifications so that you know anytime I upload a video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.